सुमसङ्काशं काश्यपेयं महाद्युतिम् ध्वन्तारिं सर्वपापघ्नं प्रणतस्मि दिवाकरम् दधिशङ्खतुषाराभं क्षीरार्णवसमुद्भवम् नमामि शशिनं भक्त्या शम्भोर्मुकुटभूषणम् धरणीगर्भसम्भूतं विद्वत्पुञ्जसमप्रभम् कुमारं शक्तिहस्तं च लोहिताङ्गं नमाम्यहम्।
Hello and welcome to Akshay Urja Divas 2020 being celebrated in Techno International Bhatanagar, Kolkata. We celebrate this day every year on 20th of August as a part of celebration defined by Government of India. Akshay Urja Divas or the Day of Renewable Energy has assumed a greater importance these days because we know we are consuming fossil fuels every day, and consumption of fossil fuels not only pollutes the environment, it also causes global warming. Instead of fossil fuels, if we use renewable energy more, then we will save our environment and also make sure that our energy sources will not get diminished in time. Today we have a wonderful program that we are going to organize today. The organizing committee is the Technical Innovation Committee of our college, and their members have worked tirelessly to make this day a success. We have also student participants for oral and poster presentations on this topic today. We would also like to welcome our chief guest, Dr. Brahmi Das of Hooghly Mohsin College, who is going to be delivering a keynote address on this special topic today. She is a renowned expert in this area and she will definitely enlighten us with more details in this area. Thank you and welcome all up to this program.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. Myself, Brahmi Das. I am currently working as an assistant professor in Department of Physics, Hooghly Mohsin College. You all know that in every year we have celebrated Akshay Urja Divas to promote renewable energy. It's really a good thing, and also I am really thankful to the organizing committee for inviting me in this program. It's a pleasure to come here and to deliver a short presentation about the renewable energy. Here I will talk few words about renewable energy and supercapacitor. First of all, what is renewable energy? Renewable means it has the ability to be new again. It is the energy which can be collected from renewable sources and they are naturally replenished on a human time scale. The few examples of renewable sources are solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, biofuel energy, etc. Nowadays, as the traditional energy resources are continuously reducing, we have to think an alternative way. Much more we have used renewable energies, it reduces the dependency of fossil fuel, which basically causes major harm to the environment. Also, the advantages of using renewable energies are it would not be finished, that is, it wouldn't be run out actually. The maintenance requirement is also lower, that is, we can save money. Also, by using renewable energy, it basically helps to conserve the nation's natural resources. It is good to know that the renewable energy sources make up to 26% of the world electricity. Also, according to IEA, it's expected to grow up to 30% and it will supply almost 1200 gigawatt of electricity by 2024. This is the future of renewable energies. Now, due to rapid enhancement of global energy consumption and decrement of traditional energy resources, the research activities on clean and renewable energy sources are continuously increased. On the other hand, as these new energy forms are regionally limited, it is very much needed to develop advanced and efficient energy storage system such as supercapacitor, whose energy is solely dependent on structure and properties of the component material. And across the globe, many researchers are working to develop new nanomaterials and nanostructures for efficient storage. Now you can see in the global market scenario how the demand of the supercapacitor is gradually increasing and it becomes higher and higher. It is clearly visible from these diagrams. Now, before going to discuss the detail about supercapacitor, just let us know what is capacitor. It is an electronic component used to store energy in the form of electric potential. It consists of two parallel plates separated by a small distance of the order of few millimeter, and there is a dielectric material in between the two plates. And when the plates are connected by a battery, one of them is positively charged and other is negatively charged. Also, the capacitance of the capacitor is basically defined as the amount of energy stored into it, and this is dependent on the dimension of the capacitor and the material of the dielectric. Now you have to know what is supercapacitor. Supercapacitor is a specially designed capacitor which has a huge capacitance value and energy density compared to the conventional capacitors. It can store energy by two ways. One is pure charge storage on electrode-electrolyte interface via electrochemical double layer capacitance. In short, it is EDLC. And the other is by transfer of a charge to the layer of redox molecule on the electrode surface. Here we have shown different type of the supercapacitors depending on its working principle. They are basically EDLC, pseudo capacitors, hybrid capacitors. Okay, these are three types. And for EDLC, we can use activated carbon graphene as well as carbon nanotube as electrode material, whereas for pseudo capacitor we can use metal oxide conducting polymers, and for hybrid capacitor we can use asymmetric hybrids, composite hybrids as electrode materials. Another thing is that supercapacitor can fill the gap between the conventional capacitors and battery or fuel cell, which is clearly visible from this diagram. It is basically power density and energy density diagram. You can easily visualize from this diagram. Here, in a shorter way, I have described the working principle of supercapacitor. It consists of two porous electrodes that are basically current collectors. One is anode and the other is cathode. In between them there is an electrolyte. Basically by the electrolytes the electrodes are electrically connected. They are separated by a small membrane which is known as separator. when a voltage is applied in between them, the positive electrode attracts the negative ions and the negative electrode attracts the positive ion from the electrolyte, and they are stored near the electrode surface. So the effective distance between the electrodes become decreased, which in turn increases the capacitance value, as the capacitance is inversely proportional to the distance between two electrodes. Now, to be a good electrode material, it must have the following properties, like it have high cyclability, long-term stability, high specific area, high electrical conductivity, and so on. And the important criteria to be a good electrolyte material is it must have high ionic conductivity and low viscosity and a good charge compensation properties. These electrolytes can be classified as following, like organic electrolytes, aqueous electrolytes, ionic liquids, solid state polymer electrolytes, etc. And the example of these are also given here. These are the fewer advantages of supercapacitor. Why we can use supercapacitor? As I have mentioned earlier that supercapacitor carries higher energy density than conventional capacitors. Also, it has higher power density than that of batteries and fuel cell. It will not generate any kind of toxic gases by chemical reaction, and it is not involved in cathodic and anodic corrosion. That is, it is safe and eco-friendly, and also it has high cycle stability. That is, it has longer life. What are the applications of supercapacitor? Basically, nowadays it has a plenty number of applications. Here I have shown some of the important applications. Till date, such as supercapacitor electric bus, we can lighten up LED by using supercapacitor, solar supercapacitors for wearable sensor, HD car camcorder, etc. These are the applications of supercapacitor. In conclusion, I can say the demand of the supercapacitor is continuously increasing day to day. Also, many researchers across the globe are working on different materials to improve the performance of the supercapacitor. And thank you once again.
The topic on which I am going to talk about is renewable energy. So as we know, energy is a quantitative property of object transferable among them via fundamental interaction, which can be in any form like kinetic, nuclear, etc. And according to the law of conservation of energy, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, and depending on the source from where the energy is derived, energy can be classified into two main types: renewable energy and non-renewable energy. The non-renewable energy sources like fossil fuel, coal, oil, natural gas, etc. are used to make energy by burning them, but once they are finished, we will never get more of them. Since these gases are not good for the environment, the concept of renewable energy is based on the ability to use natural resources that we will never run out of, and we can have all the benefits we want without destroying the earth. They are available in plenty, and it is the most cleanest source of energy on this planet. The types of renewable energy sources are solar energy, wind energy, hydropower energy, geothermal energy, and the biomass energy. Solar power is likely to be the most valuable of the renewable energy sources because it is plentiful and is the least expensive to implement. The process involves placing collectors and panels that will be placed where the sun will reach, such as the roof. The process of converting what is collected into energy is known as photovoltaics. In order to make this happen, silicon is used to transform it. The earth receives 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 17 watt. Solar energy can be used to cook food by trapping and concentrating the sun's heat in a cooker, and to heat water or to generate steam. Next is wind power. The wind move at high speed, and places selected for the use of windmills should have wind constantly blowing at the rate of 15 miles per hour. Also, the waves that occurs in oceans can be used to generate hydropower. There are large windmills hundreds of feet high strategically gathered in these open areas. Each of the blades on the windmills requires a semi-truck to haul it. But these windmills who generate the power is extremely expensive and also time consuming, and the amount of energy that can be produced with the help of these windmills is never same, as it depends on how windy or how gentle the breeze is on that particular day. Next is hydropower. There is power found in water as well, and the process is referred to as hydropower. It can create much more energy at one time with very little water than solar power or wind power. Hydropower is used to offer electricity to more than 28 million people around the world. The process involves plenty of safety precaution, as the water can never come into contact with the electrical part of the process. The process occurs as the water flows, and it spins turbines that are found in a generator. The first hydropower plant in the United States was introduced in 1882, and the largest hydropower plant in the world is located in Washington. Then comes biofuel. Biofuel can be liquid or solid. The process begins when plants perform photosynthesis. Chemical energy is stored inside them that can be released. This is the conversion of solid fuel made from plant material into electricity. Although fundamentally biomass involves burning organic materials to produce electricity, this is not burning wood, and nowadays this is a much cleaner, more energy efficient process. By converting agricultural, industrial and domestic waste into liquid, solid and gas fuel, biomass generates power at a much lower economical and environmental cost. And lastly, the fifth kind of renewable source of energy is the geothermal energy. By harnessing the natural heat below the earth's surface, geothermal energy can be used to heat homes directly or to generate electricity. Geothermal energy is the heat that comes from the subsurface of the earth. It is contained in the rocks and fluids beneath the earth's crust and can be found as far as down the earth's hot molten rock, magma. To produce power from geothermal energy, wells are dug a mile deep into underground reservoirs to access the steam and hot water there, which can then be used to drive turbines connected to electricity generators. There are three types of geothermal power plants: dry steam, flash and binary. Thermal energy as a carbon-free, renewable, sustainable form of energy that provides a continuous, uninterrupted supply of heat. Thus, we can conclude that innovation and expansion of renewable sources of energy is the key to maintain a sustainable level of energy and protect our planet from climatic changes. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Ruchira Roy presenting the topic Harnessing Solar Energy Using Solar Ponds, jointly made with Debjyoti Banerjee and Sombuddha Pandit. So I'd first like to state the content of my presentation, which includes introduction to different forms of energy. Then it's the introduction to solar pond technology, working of solar pond, types of solar pond, uses, issues and conclusion. So with that, I'd like to start with my introduction on what's non-renewable energy and renewable energy. So non-renewable energy is the energy obtained from the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, wood, etc. And renewable energy is energy made out of these sources which do not need to be replenished, as such sources are always available in nature. Some major sources are sunlight, wind, water, biomass, etc. Solar energy is one of the most popular form of renewable energy in terms of usage and the most likely used energy source of the future. Now I would like to move on to the introduction to solar pond technology. So a solar pond is a pool of salt water which collects and stores solar thermal energy. The salt water naturally forms a vertical salinity gradient, also known as a halocline, in which low salinity water floats on top of high salinity water. The layers of salt solutions increase in concentration with depth. Below a certain depth, the solution has a uniformly high salt concentration. Now I would like to move on to the working of solar pond. So a solar pond works on the principle of heating of the bottom part of a water body and then preventing convection to occur in it to retain the heat. This is done by adding salts to the water body which sinks to the bottom, making the lower part heavy and thus preventing the hot water from rising and thus prevents convection. Then I would like to state the different types of solar pond. The first is non-convecting solar ponds. It is mainly referred to as a salt gradient pond. It has 3 distinct layers of salt solution which prevents convection. Now the other one is convecting solar ponds. It is also called solar pond which allows convection but does not allow evaporation. Now the main point of our presentation is the usage of this solar pond technology. So the first use has to be, it can be used for heating and cooling buildings as the temperature of the water is fairly stable. Second, can be used for generation of electricity by using a thermoelectric device or a turbine powered by an evaporating liquid. And the last one is can be used for desalination of water as it can remove salts from water masses, making the water suitable for irrigation and drinking. But with pros there are always cons. So the cons of our experiment is that the rate of solar to electrical energy conversion is low. It's less than 2%. There's a large amount of fresh water which is needed for maintaining right level of salt concentration, which is difficult in drier areas. And there's another problem that we would be facing along with the other two, that is, it is not viable in areas where there is not enough sunlight available throughout the year, especially in the higher latitudes. With this, I come to the conclusion that solar ponds are very important as a source of solar power. It is cheap with little setup and maintenance cost. It is also pollution free, which is essential in the modern world. So with this, I am concluding my presentation. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for listening.
For the Akshaya Urja ceremony, I'll be discussing about renewable energy. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is energy from sources that are naturally replenishing but flow limited. Basically, the resources available to mankind, like coal, petrol, diesel, are slowly depleting each year. There will come a time when we do not have any oil left on Earth's grounds. So, to continue our daily lifestyle, other means of energy are required. What are these other means of energy? They are solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, biomass. Solar energy. Solar power is energy from the sun that is converted into thermal or electrical energy.
Solar energy is the cleanest and most abundant renewable energy source available. From the diagram, you can see the solar panel is collecting solar energy from sun rays and converting them into electricity. This electricity can be used to power our houses. Wind energy. Wind caused by uneven heating of the atmosphere by the sun, variation in the earth's surface, and rotation of the earth all move the wind turbine blades. These turbine blades connected to a rotor can easily generate electricity and power our houses, offices, and many other electrical resources. Thank you. The rest will be continued by Rahul Bag.
Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Bag from EC third year and I will be continuing with hydropower. Hydropower is the largest renewable energy source for electricity through wind energy. Here, turbine blades are moved by fast moving water which in due time generate electricity for our homes and many small scale industries. Biomass. Biomass is organic material that comes from plants and animals and includes crops, waste food and trees. Generation of biomass can help the waste situation on earth and counteract it in a developmental way. When biomass is burnt, the chemical energy is released as a form of heat energy and generate electricity with steam turbine. Thank you and have a nice day.
Such an auspicious occasion of Akshay Urja, we, the third year electrical student of Techno International Bharatanagar, are giving a PowerPoint presentation on renewable energies. So there are two types of energies. One is renewable and another is non-renewable. Renewable energies are those energies which can be renewed, and non-renewable energies are those energies which cannot be renewed. That is, once you use it, you just can't get it back, and the source of getting the energy is subjected to end one day. So what is renewable energy? If we look at our first slide, you can tell that renewable energy is energy that is collected from renewable resources which are naturally replenished on a human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, and geothermal heat. Renewable energies often provide energies in four important areas: electricity generation, air and water, heating or cooling, transportation, and rural energy services. Based on one of the reports, it is concluded that renewable energies contribute 19.3% of humans' global energy consumption and 24.5% to their generation of electricity in 2015 and 16 respectively. This energy consumption is divided as 8.9% coming from traditional biomass, 4.2% as heat energy, 3.9% from hydroelectricity, and the remaining 2.2% is electricity from wind, solar, geothermal, and other forms of biomass. Worldwide investments in renewable technologies amounted to more than $286 billion in 2015. In 2017, that amount has risen up to $280 billion. Globally, it is estimated that 7.7 million jobs are associated from this renewable energies. So if we move on to the next slide, we can find that why should we use renewable energy? So electricity generation is one of the leading cause of industrial air pollution. We know that all. Most of our electricity comes from coal, nuclear or other non-renewable power plants. So producing energy from these resources takes a lot of toll on our environment, polluting air, land and water. So actually we shouldn't do that. At the end of the day, the non-renewable energies are really polluting our earth. And we should always use energy from sun, wind, thermal energy, because they are never ending. So that's the thing we should do always. Now moving on to the next slide, we are finding the different types of renewable energies. Solar energy we have, wind energy, hydropower energy, heat energy and biomass energy. So going through them, moving on to the next slide, we can tell that solar energy is something which is obtained from sunlight, as the name tells us. Solar power energy has come into use where other power supplies are absent, such as places off from national electricity grid. So it requires a large area. So there is a grid where there is a solar panel where the sunlight falls and that turns to electrical energy which we can use. So next, talking about some problems in using solar energy is initial cost, produce only power during the day, solar cell effectiveness, it requires large area setup, and some advantages: it is clean energy, renewable power, it provides power in the remote areas. And talking about other types of energy, that is wind energy, that wind energy is mainly found on barren land where turbines are kept. The wind removes the turbine and from there we get electricity. And so we should always use this type of renewable energies, and we should promote more of using renewable energies than non-renewable resources. So thank you.
Source of energy. So let's start. What is renewable source of energy? The energy which can be regenerated are called renewable source of energy. The definition of renewable source of energy is the energy resource which can be used to produce again and again, as known as renewable source of energy. Forms of renewable source of energy: there are mainly solar energy, wind energy, ocean thermal energy, geothermal energy, and biomass or biogas energy. Solar energy. What is solar energy? Solar energy is mainly comes from sun in the forms of visible lights and other electromagnetic radiation. And solar energy mainly converted into electrical energy. Example of such device which can be converted from solar energy to electrical energy are solar cooker, solar heater, solar cell, etc. What are the advantage and disadvantage of solar energy? Solar cell does not produce any carbon dioxide and it doesn't affect our environment. And disadvantage, the main disadvantage of solar energy is that it is not a constant source of energy. It depends upon the weather and the place, and the time. Wind energy. Wind power is a renewable source of energy which is clean and free, and which helps to reduce dependence on the fossil fuels. Wind energy reduces the emission of greenhouse gases and other pollutions. The major problem with the wind energy is noise problem, which can be improved. As we know, The 75% of world surface can be covered by oceans. So it can be the largest renewable source of energy, which is contribute to security of energy supply and which is reduce the greenhouse effect. Geothermal energy can be gained by the heat of the earth, and which is clean and sustainable. The range of geothermal energy is start from the shallow ground to the hot water or hot rocks. It's found miles deeper the earth, which is stored in the forms of molten rocks and magma. Geothermal energy can be pumped out with a heat pump, and which is used to cool or heat the buildings. The hot water comes from ground to heat the building, and the cold water can pump down, and this process can be reversed. Rapid increase of pollution and industrial causes more amount of energy, so we need more amount of energy, and the biomass energy is the primary source of energy. It is the very clean energy. The main point in the biomass energy that it can be obtained anywhere throughout the country. Biomass energy is a renewable source of energy. It can be generated from the waste of wood scrap and forest resources. This is the whole process of biogas, how we can get biogas, and the biogas is mainly used in cooking and vehicles also. We are producing such type of vehicles which runs on biogas, and it is economically very less. Why we need renewable source of energy? Because the fossil fuels can't be last forever, and renewable source of energy can be provide new jobs, and our country less depends upon the fuels. Renewable source of energy are eco-friendly. As we know, renewable source of energy decrease the air pollution and the gas emission. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Anirban Das. I am a student of Civil Engineering Department, Techno International, Bhatanagar. Today on this Akshay Urja Divas, me along with two of my friends, Abhirup Datta and Shubhamay Sengupta, has created a poster and a PPT on renewable energy resources. So in this video, I will tell you about renewable energy resources. So first of all, we have to know what is renewable energy resources. The energy resources that can be renewed and the resources which we get directly from nature is known as renewable energy resources. There are many kind of renewable energy resources are present, namely solar energy, tidal energy, wave energy, thermal energy, etc., which we get directly from nature. We absorb these renewable energy resources from nature and convert the energy from one form to another form. Such as in solar energy, we collect the sunlight and convert it into electrical energy. As well as in wind energy, we collect the wind power and convert with the help of mechanism it into electricity, and such like that in wave energy and in tidal energy, we convert the form of energy into electricity. As we all know that India is a developing country, so the government of India has created various renewable energy resources power plant. For example, there is a Vakranangal Dam where the hydro energy is converted into electrical energy. Such like that, there are also various other renewable energy resources plants are present in our country where the renewable energy resources are collected. Nowadays, we are using a huge amount of non-renewable energy resources instead of renewable energy resources. As a result, it creates a lot of bad impact in our environment. So to avoid this, we should use renewable energy resources instead of non-renewable energy resources. Thank you.